Families of the 17 children and staff members Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz murdered cursed him to hell, wished him a painful death and called him a coward Tuesday as they got their one chance to address him directly before he is sentenced to life in prison. For hours, parents, wives, siblings, children and some of the 17 crews also wounded at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on Valentine's Day 2018 stood 20 feet from him. They looked the shackled killer in the eye and gave vehement, angry and sometimes tearful statements. Most decried that his jury did not reach the unanimity required to sentence him to death. Cruz, 24, stared back at them, dressed in a bright red jail jumpsuit, showing no emotion behind a COVID-19 face mask. "This creature has no redeemable value," said Max Schachter, whose 14-year-old son Alex died when he was shot through a classroom window. Speaking at Cruz but refusing to say his name, he said he hopes other prisoners you will encounter in your new life will inflict that pain upon you, hopefully 17 times over again, until you are screaming for mercy, just like your victims. Schachter said that it was his birthday and that when he blew out his cake's candles Tuesday night, he would wish Cruz a painful death, and would every year until it happens. Some of the families verbally attacked Cruz's public defenders, accusing them of misleading 3 of the 12 jurors into believing his birth mother's excessive drinking had left him brain damaged and unable to control himself. Some hoped that their consciences would always haunt them forever and would experience the pain they have felt, with at least one parent mentioning the attorney's children. "The legal system should protect and impart justice, justice, justice," Patricia Oliver said, leaning over the lectern toward the defense attorneys and accusing them of shameful, despicable behavior. Cruz wounded her 17-year-old son Joaquin in the leg and then tracked him into a bathroom alcove. There, Cruz fatally shot her son in the head as he raised his hand to protect himself. "If this, the worst mass shooting to go to trial, does not deserve the death penalty, what does?" she said. Lead defense attorney Melissa McNeil eventually asked Circuit Judge Elizabeth Scherer to stop the families from attacking her and her colleagues directly, saying they had worked within the parameters of Cruz's constitutional rights in defending him. "I did my job, and every member of this team did our job, and we should not personally be attacked for that, nor should our children," McNeil said, drawing a murmur from where the families sat. Prosecutor Carolyn McCann told Scherer that the victims have the right under state law and the Constitution to express themselves and be heard. When McNeil tried to respond to McCann, telling the judge she knew the parents were violating court decorum, Scherer stopped her. "The two have had a testy and sometimes hostile relationship since pretrial hearings. Stop suggesting that I know that something is improper," Scherer said, saying she had heard enough. She took no action against the families. Cruz's attorneys say he is not expected to speak. He apologized in court last year after pleading guilty to the murders and attempted murders, but families told reporters they found the apology aimed at garnering sympathy. He fired 140 shots during his 7-minute attack, which he had planned for 7 months. That plea set the stage for a 3-month penalty trial that ended October 13 with the jury voting 9-3 for a death sentence. Jurors said those voting for life believed Cruz is mentally ill and should be spared. Under Florida law, a death sentence requires unanimity. That led to the current hearing and the raw emotions expressed by the families and surviving victims. This is just some of what they said to Cruz. "You stole him from us, and you did not receive the justice that you deserved," said Deborah Hickson, whose husband, athletic director Chris Hickson, died running at Cruz to stop him. Cruz shot him again after he fell wounded to the ground. "You'll be sent to jail, you'll begin your punishment, you'll be a number, and for me you will cease to exist. We hope that you, the monster who did this to our son, endure a painful existence in your remaining days," said Eric Wickender, the father of student Ben Wickender, who has undergone 7 surgeries to repair his wounds. "Because of you, I check for all exits wherever I am," said teacher Stacy Lipple, who was wounded. Because of you, I think of the worst-case scenario for myself and my family. Because of you, I will never feel safe again. I have no forgiveness in my heart for you. Prosecutors said Cruz fired 140 shots with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle down hallways and into classrooms. He fatally shot some wounded victims after they fell. Cruz said he chose Valentine's Day so it could never again be celebrated at Stoneman Douglas.